Hi guys, I'm Syrachime and I welcome you back to another episode of my Pokemon FireRed Let's Play bonus videos. In the last episode we did quite a bit of exploring of the remaining of Sevii Islands. We looked at the rest of 5 Islands, 6 Island, and checked out all of 7 Island. And after doing all that, we attempted to hatch an egg that did not want to hatch for whatever reason. Well, after running around in circles for a very, very long time, I have actually managed to get this egg ready to hatch. And if we take one fateful step, you will see... Huh? And with that, the Pokemon egg we have been trying to hatch is now beginning to hatch. What will pop out of this thing? Well, in a blinding flash of light, we see Togepi has hatched from the egg. So if you ever wanted your own Togepi to use in your adventure, here you can go to 5 Island, run around for a little bit after you pick the egg up, and you can have your own. I don't know why anybody would want to use Togepi. Togetic, the only thing it can evolve into this generation, isn't necessarily that good, but if you want it, here it is. I do not want to give this Pokemon a nickname because I do not plan on using it for my team. Feel free to if you want to. Alright, so now that we've hatched that Togepi, to finish off what we did last episode, we are going to get started on some new stuff in this episode, but before I actually tell you what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and deposit Togepi and go get Rafflesia back from the PC because we're going to need him for what's coming up. So I'm going to go get Rafflesia, and then I will tell you guys what's going on shortly after that. Be right back. Alright, now with Rafflesia in hand, we can finally progress on to what we're going to do in this episode. And what that has to do actually has to do with a cave that is here in Cerulean City, in case you were wondering what we were doing here to start with. Now, after you became the Pokemon League champion, there was something that became available to you that you could have done at this point, but I actually didn't do it because I got sidetracked to doing a bunch of other things for the National Dex and everything. Well, anyway, if you actually head over this way, head up, once you get over here, if you look over there, you will notice that there is a cave that we have never been in before. No, that is not Mount Moon, that is actually the Cerulean Cave. That cave is home to a lot of very powerful and dangerous Pokemon. And up until the point where you became the champion, you could not actually enter that cave. If you tried, there would be some trainer there who would say, I'm sorry, but this cave is too dangerous for any normal trainer to get in, or something to that effect. We had to become a really strong trainer in order to enter. And apparently defeating the jerk that was Gary was enough to do that. We defeated Gary and they ran away. We're strong enough to get in there now. So we are going to actually tackle that cave now in this episode. But before we do, I have a lot of things that I would recommend you do in addition to some things that are mandatory. Now, the list of mandatory things is a lot less than those that are recommended. To start off with the mandatory things, you're obviously going to need a Pokemon that knows Surf in order to get into the cave to start with. Now, even if you could by some miracle get over there without surfing, the cave itself is just filled with waterways and tunnels and stuff, so you're going to need a Pokemon that could surf you around the labyrinth that is this cave. Now, in addition to that, not mandatory, but recommended, especially if you want to get all the items in this cave, you're going to want a Pokemon that has the move Rock Smash. You can get through this cave entirely without Rock Smash, but if you do want to access items, I would highly recommend you get a Pokemon that knows Rock Smash. And while I don't think you need Strength per se, having a Pokemon that knows Strength would be advisable as well. So once you have those, the other mandatory thing that I would really recommend that you have is your Master Ball. As it turns out, at the end of this cave, there is actually a Pokemon here we're going to try to catch, and it would make your life a whole lot easier if you did it with a Master Ball. This Pokemon really is that dangerous, so if you didn't waste your Master Ball on Zapdos, Moltres, or Articuno, or you did what I did back when I was a kid and wasted it on a random Pidgeotto, you'll want to use your Master Ball here in this cave, and I will be showing you why a little bit later. Now, if you don't have your Master Ball for whatever reason, I will say straight up that I pity you, but it is not impossible to catch the Pokemon that we have if you don't have your Master Ball. I'm just going to say that it's not easy, it is incredibly difficult, but I will still try to show you some tips on how you can catch what's at the back of this cave once we get there. So having a lot of, obviously, if you don't have a Master Balls, you're going to want to have a lot of Ultra Balls, in addition to a lot of medical supplies, and you might want a Pokemon that knows the move Flash, and I will explain why when we actually get into battle. So once you actually have the mandatory things, in addition to the things that aren't so mandatory, obviously you're going to want a lot of repels for what's coming up. What you want to do to actually access this cave is you want to go around, go up the Nugget Bridge, and once we make it to the top here, you will see that the jerk that was going to give us the Nugget and make us Team Rocket member before is no longer there, obviously because Team Rocket is disbanded. What you want to do is you want to surf down to the cave entrance. First you want to throw up some repels. I am not going to go through this with repels. Should warn you beforehand, the Pokemon in this cave are at level 45 to 65 respectively. So you're going to want a Pokemon up front that is at least level 65, if not a little higher. I don't do that, but I do have Pecky who does have the runaway ability. so I will be able to run away anytime, and I do plan on taking advantage of that. Alright, so once we got that, my rappels are up. We're going to surf down here to the cave entrance. And as we come down here, surfing this labyrinth, alright, with this, we can now enter the Cerulean Cave. Now, once in here, you're going to notice right away that there is a labyrinth. I was going to say a labyrinth of waterways, but a labyrinth of Pokemon that do not want you to get to where you're going to go. Anyway, getting back on topic, you're going to notice that as you move around here, there are a lot of ladders that you can go up and explore the cave with. Now, this is why I recommend you have Rock Smash, because you go up those ladders, and they are going to take you to a labyrinth of tunnels that are blocked by rocks, smashable rocks. Now, I'm not going to go up and get those items because first of all, I do not have a Pokemon that knows Rock Smash, nor do I have any intention of actually getting all the items. Now, there are some items out in the open like that one there that I do plan on getting. There are 3 that I know about, and I am going to get them. You can get those if you want to. I'd recommend that you do. And if you want to get those items, you want to go down here. The first one you pick up right here is a full restore. That'll be incredibly helpful for what comes up after this. I will not spoil that, but just know there's something after this coming up. Alright, if you go up here, there's another item up here. You go get this, you pick up a nugget. So if you want to make some money, you can sell that. That is helpful. Now, there is only one ladder you're actually going to want to take. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a wild Pokemon. There's only one ladder that you actually want to take, and it is actually over there by that 3rd item that we saw. So we're going to make our way over there. And as I attempt to do that, I guess I can talk about some of the new Pokemon that are here. I hate random encounters. Anyway, new Pokemon you could find here. There are quite a few of the ones from Kanto you could find. There's a couple of Johto. You can find the Johto Pokemon Wobbuffet here if you want one. In addition to that, you could find the most common Electrode that I keep running into. Stupid thing. Well, there's Parasects here, Kadabras, Magnetons, and a few other Pokemon like that. You pick up this item, you can get a Max Elixir. That is also helpful for what's coming up. Oh my gosh, these things are annoying. Alright, well, the ladder you're going to want to take is actually that ladder down there. I'm going to do this very slowly. Now, you just want to avoid that ladder over there, but if you take the one down here... Can I please go more than 3 steps in this cave to make progress? My gosh! Stop running into wild Pokemon. Alright, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted. This is the ladder that you're going to want to take. If you go up it, you will come to this labyrinth of tunnels that I mentioned earlier. There you can see an example of rocks blocking your path over there. If you have Rock Smash, you can get those items. But you will know you are going the right way because your path will actually... I'm starting to think that maybe I should have leveled up my Pokemon to level 75 or something like that to keep these things away. Oh well, anyways, I was saying, you will know that you are taking the right path because your path will not be blocked by a rock. So you can see that rock right there is blocking our path. That is obviously not the way to go. What you want to do is you want to snake around here very slowly if you don't have anything that could repel these Pokemon like I don't. And as you make your way around, you will eventually come to a ladder. Where's my repel wearing off? I know it's not doing me much good, but I'm still going to throw it up. If I can keep the lower leveled Pokemon away, that would help a little bit. I just keep running into larger leveled Pokemon. Alright, if you keep making your way around, eventually you will come to this ladder that will take you to another cavern, which is what you want to go to. Now that ladder up there is actually the one you want to use. It's this ladder right here. You go down here, you are taken to this place right here where you will notice that there is another ladder, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what to do at this point. Someone in the comments probably going, climb the wall and go explore that area over there. Well, for starters, I can't do that because Chime cannot climb a wall. All he can do is kick it and punch it. And second of all, you cannot get to the good thing at the back of this cave without taking this ladder, so we are going to take this ladder. And once we do, we come a little bit deeper in the cave. Now that we actually don't have much longer to go, so if I can get through this without another random battle, I'd be extremely happy. Oh my gosh, quit! Stupid Pokemon, stay away! Alright, you want to snake your way... Ooh, item, must get. Ooh, must get item or random... Oh, we'll deal with random encounters to get that item. You obviously get what you pay for, because you try to get items, you say you're going to deal with random encounters, and you run into them. If I wanted to catch a Ditto, I would catch a Ditto. Quit running into Dittos. Alright, you go over here and you pick up a Max Revive. I don't even know if it was worth it for all that junk I had to put up with. Alright, so we're going to keep moving along here. Pray we don't run into any more wild Pokemon. I would like to make some progress in this video if I can. I'm already seeing a great deal of editing ahead of me. As I said on the SSN, for the love of Godzilla, let me make some progress, please! Alright. If I had access to a nuclear bomb right now, I would drop it on this cave, plain and simple. Alright, we're going to go up here, and if we could do it, yes, we pick up an Ultra Ball, so if you have nothing but Ultra Balls in your... I am so sorry if this is annoying to you. It is just as annoying to me, if not worse. Alright, we're going to do this very carefully and pray that we could do this. Please stop. I can't take much more of these stupid random encounters. Stupid game, what did I ever do to you? I'm just trying to show everybody how to get through this cave. Can I please do that without a random encounter for more than 5 minutes? If even that. Alright, trying to get my sanity back. What you want to do is you want to make your way around up this part here. Once you make it in this water, you are almost home free. Thank goodness. So you surf over here. Once you make it up here to these stairs, you have made it to that Pokemon we were trying to get to this whole time. Oh my gosh, that was the worst bout of random encounters I've ever had in my life. Alright, getting my sanity back, as I've said. Now if you go up here, you will notice that we have a rat-looking thing that is staring at us. And yes, this is the thing you want your Pokemon, or your Master Ball for, excuse me. Now, if you don't have your Master Ball, well, I'll just tell you straight up, this thing is, I've told you before, this thing is incredibly difficult to catch. We're going to go ahead and send out my electric rat to take out this rat-looking thing. Alright, well, this thing might look like a harmless rat, but trust me when I say it is the most evil Pokemon on the face of the earth. What is this Pokemon, you ask? Well, if you talk to it, you will see that it is Mew. Oh my gosh, it's Mew. Well, wait, it gets even more cryptic because this is not just Mew. This thing is Mewtwo, the sequel. I did not see the first movie, but maybe the second one will be better. Alright, anyway, well, yes, this is Mewtwo, and as you can see from just him being at level 70, this Pokemon right here is a beast. Now, in addition to being way over-leveled from any of my Pokemon, and probably what you have anything in your party right now, this thing has access to the move Recover, so it will ultimately recover any damage that you try to land on it. And if that wasn't bad enough, it also has the move Safeguard, which can prevent it from being paralyzed, poisoned, put to sleep, frozen, and every other status condition like that. So this Pokemon right here is incredibly hard to catch. Your best bet is to try and throw out a paralysis, whether before it either gets Safeguard up or in between times it uses Safeguard. I'm going to see if I can't do that right now. Now this Pokemon right here, he's a Psychic-type Pokemon. He has a really powerful special attack stat. Thankfully I can get off Thunder Wave before anything like that. Now, like I said, he has a really powerful special attack stat, so if it uses its stab move, which happens to be Psychic, and it is a Psychic-type Pokemon, if it uses Psychic, short of a bulky Pokemon, you are going down. There is very little that can actually stand up to this, and to go along with a really good special attack stat, this thing has a really good speed stat, pretty good defense stat, in addition to a pretty good attack stat, and a pretty good HP stat, and there will go Electra, plain and simple. Well, as I was saying, this thing is incredibly powerful. It is really high leveled, so trying to capture this thing without a Master Ball is rather difficult, and you can kind of see why. I've already lost one of my Pokemon. I still think I can catch this thing, though. So I'm going to send out El Blanco right now to try to do that. So while I'm sitting here trying to actually capture this Mewtwo, I guess I can talk about Mewtwo a little bit. You might have recalled back on Cinnabar Island when we read about those journal entries about some scientists who were trying to clone Mew. And after several attempts, they managed to clone a Pokemon called Mewtwo, who somehow went berserk and ran away somewhere. We don't really know what happened to it, just that Mewtwo went wild and escaped somewhere. Well, as it turns out, this is actually that Pokemon. This is Mewtwo, as I've already said a million times. And if you want to dig a little bit deeper into Mewtwo's history, if you've ever seen the first movie of Pokemon, I probably don't need to say this, but spoiler alert, if you actually watch that movie, you will see that Mewtwo was indeed cloned from Mew. And after he actually became a conscious being, goodbye El Blanco, after he became a conscious being, he actually met Giovanni, who promised to help him realize his full potential in exchange for his loyalty. So naturally, Mewtwo agreed to this and went under Giovanni's control for a while. But after a while of nothing good really helping Mewtwo out all that much, he actually went wild, betrayed Giovanni, and created his own warehouse, or his own cloning factory, with the plans of replacing the world with clones of his own creation. And yeah, a few other things like that. More or less he went insane, but at the end of the movie he actually became a good guy or something to that effect. So yeah, that's more or less what happened in the movie, and that's more or less what happened in Mewtwo's history. I don't think that that the history in that movie applies to what happens here, but still, there's a little bit of history about Mewtwo. So as we actually sit here and battle this thing, I've already talked about Mewtwo's stats. I think Mewtwo's stats are actually off the chart as far as... Oh no, not the sidekick. Doggone it. Well, yeah, his stats are off the chart. Trying to weaken this thing down and capture it is a real pain. I guess that can bring me to the point of what I talked about earlier. Obviously, the standard stuff where you paralyze stuff and then try to catch it inside of an Ultra Ball is a good way to go. Now, what I'd recommended earlier before we entered the cave was that you picked up the move Flash. And the reason for that is because if you can avoid being hit by his Psychic attack, that might prolong the battle a little longer. He does have Swift, which hits every single time you throw, well, every single time it tries to attack. We're not doing anything on this thing. Would you quit using Psychic on me, you stupid Pokemon? My goodness, everything's just falling like rocks. Well, anyway, if you do manage to actually get up Flash and can avoid being hit by Psychic, you could prolong the battle a little bit. I'll go ahead and throw a Pokeball. It's not like Ultra Balls are doing any better. So yeah, if you could use Flash a few times, you could prolong the battle a little bit longer, give you a couple more chances. But really, the best way to do this is just to have a Master Ball in your party. And if things start going too far south, they're already going south, but if I lose Aqualay and I get down to just Charizard, I am probably just going to start using my Ultra Balls, but I am still going to try and use Pokeballs to capture this thing, if I can. Come on, stay in there, Mewtwo. You want to be one with the ball. I'm not going through what... Oh, there's Recover. This is why this thing is so hard to catch, as I've already said a million times. It has Recover, you can't damage it, you can't paralyze it without Safeguard, being down, everything like that. It's just a really difficult Pokemon to catch. Now, if you have your Pokemon a little bit further leveled up than what mine are right now, you can have a little bit better of a chance catching this thing. But honestly speaking, trying to catch this thing without your Master Ball is just suicidal, if not... No! Stay with me, Aqualay! I know it's not that damaging, but Mewtwo still, just being a normal attacker in general, is hard to deal with. Alright, as long as we don't critical hit it, thank goodness for that, it's paralyzed. Alright, we are going to use... He'll probably use Safeguard on the next turn, even though he's paralyzed. You know, for a Psychic Pokemon, the thing's not really that smart. Now, if you happen to have a Dark-type Pokemon, or the Pokemon Shedinja, you can actually attack Mewtwo non-stop without fear of... No! Stay with me, Aqualay! You can do it! You can stay with me! Yes! Good job, Aqualay! I'm gonna throw a Pokeball. Maybe I'll get lucky. Alright, well anyways, I was saying, if you happen to have a Dark-type Pokemon, then the move Psychic will actually not affect you. There's one. Nothing. Anyways, No! Quit recovering, you... Oh, get out what I was trying to say eventually. Anyway, if you have a Pokemon that is a Ghost-type Pokemon, you can avoid Swift. So if you get Flash and you have a Ghost-type Pokemon, maybe you can avoid Psychic. No promises there. But if you have Shedinja or a Ghost Dark-type Pokemon, you can avoid Psychic and Swift, and that will give you a little bit longer to actually capture this thing. Throw my Ultra Balls, keep trying to capture this thing. But outside of that, your best bet is just to keep resetting the match and keep trying to catch it like this. And like I said, I'm not doing a really good job. I don't really expect to do a good job because it's just this Pokemon is goofy like that. Alright, well, I am going to use Coal. I might go ahead and use a Revive on a couple of my Pokemon just to try this a little bit longer. Let's do that. Let's revive just a couple of Pokemon, try to this a little bit longer, and if things keep going downhill, I will scrap this and start again. Or not scrap this, but I will scrap the idea of trying to make this work. Let's go ahead and use it on Aqualay. That is the best chance I've got. Alright, if Psychic does not come, good at Swift. I got another couple of turns to capture this thing. Alright, we are going to now... I'm going to just use an Ultra Ball. I'm going to use a Pokeball one more time. If I catch this thing in a Pokeball, I would scream like a girl right now. Alright, go ahead. Catch no thing at all. Wow, that's just the luck of the draw, I guess. Alright, I am not going to spend all day on this. Like I said, I am not going to treat this like Zapdos. If it's going to be stubborn, I've got a stubborn ball waiting to catch just such a stubborn Pokemon. And obviously he wants to be stubborn. Obviously he took after Zapdos. I'm getting my Pokemon all mixed up. Wow, that did nothing. Goodbye, Cole. I will see you in China. Or wherever he psychics these things away to. Alright, well, it's plain and simple that this Pokemon does not want to give up, and it's not going to give up, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Master Ball, and we will call this encounter here. At this point, you could try to keep using Ultra Balls if you want, or you could just, obviously, like I'd recommend with other battles, save beforehand, and then just keep coming at this thing if you want to. I do not want to. I have a Master Ball. I plan on using it, and we are going to do that now. So here we have a Master Ball that will catch any Pokemon without fail, and I am ready to use it on a Pokemon where every other ball has failed. Except the Great Ball. I probably should have tried that. Alright, with 1 shake, 2 shakes, and 3 shakes, we successfully catch the Psychic-type Pokemon Mewtwo. And once you catch this thing, Mewtwo's data was added to the Pokédex. Wait a minute. How on earth does anyone have any data on this Pokemon? Mewtwo was created from scientists, and there's only one of these Pokemon in existence. How on earth do you get data on this Pokemon? Well, Professor Oak's so senile, maybe he did have one moment where he actually found this thing and caught it. Oh well, anyway. Read the data on this thing. It says, a Pokemon whose genetic code was repeatedly recombined for research. It turned vicious as a result. Well, don't feel too bad, Mewtwo. I would turn vicious too if everybody poked me with needles all day long. Alright, so this is Mewtwo, the ultimate Pokemon. And do I want to give this thing excuse me, do I want to give a nickname to my captured Mewtwo? Yes, I do. That was a bit cliche, but I'm going to give this Pokemon a rather weird nickname. It's not going to be all that original, but I'm still going to do it, and you might see what I'm doing, but if you don't... Alright, there we go, Mewtwo, the sequel. I will not be going to watch the first movie, but apparently Mewtwo, the sequel, was whatever was here. Alright, we are going to transfer Mewtwo to Bill's PC, where Bill will do who knows what with it. Knowing him, probably find out a way to determine whether Mewtwo is a male or a female, or trying to dress up like it, or other inappropriate things that I will not talk about right now. Alright, so once we do that, it is placed in box 14, along with Togepi. Have fun with that. And with that, we are completely done with this battle, along with everything else. So, now that we are done with that, I am going to leave this cave, and I will meet you guys outside, because I'm not going back the way I came. I'm just going to get out of here as quick as I can, spare you guys of looking at random encounters again. And after we do that, we will discuss a little bit more after that. So I'm going to get out of here, and I will meet you guys outside of the cave in just a little bit. Be right back. Alright, now that we are outside of the Cerulean Cave, I'm afraid to say that there isn't really anything more that we can actually do at this point. We pretty much explored everything that there is to do in this game. I mean, once you defeat the Pokemon League champion, and you search the Sevii Islands and you do the Cerulean Cave, there's not really anything left to explore in the game. But that does not mean that the game itself is actually done. While we are done with the main story stuff, we are going to take on the Pokemon League one last time. If you go to the Pokemon League after you cheer up Lauralee, you will notice that the Pokemon League is actually quite a bit different. So we are going to go there, and we are going to end off the series taking on the Pokemon League one last time. But before that, I'm going to go train up my Pokemon a little bit and kind of get prepared for what's coming up. Trust me when I say that what's coming up is a little bit harder than what we had battled previously, and there are quite a few surprises that were not with the Elite Four earlier. So I'm going to go do some training, get leveled up, and then after that we will take on the Elite Four in the finale of videos. So, until that time, I will catch you guys later.